The first throw I'm going to show is a fireman's carry. And there's at least two different ways of doing that, at least from my perspective, that are dependent upon whether your opponent's pushing into you or tending to be backing up or retreating. The fireman's carry is an excellent throw, an excellent technique in wrestling as well as in jiu-jitsu and I think martial arts when you're in fairly close. I think it's an underused technique. I think it was more popular when I was competing, and I don't see that a whole lot anymore, but it's an excellent technique, and if you practice it, I can promise you, you'll catch a lot of people in this technique. And it's also a good technique when you're a little person like myself relative to bigger persons. For example, it's easier for me to fireman's carry somebody that's bigger than hit them with the double leg and have to drive through when it's power on power. Whereas the fireman's carry, I can use their momentum, and mechanically, it's a little bit easier for me being smaller. Okay? So for smaller people, I think this is an excellent technique to become proficient at. There's a number of different ways of setting this up. The way I tend to like it the best is from inside control here, either double inside control or inside control on one side, and I have a loose collar tie on the other. And you'll notice here my thumb is not pinching his bicep, but it's over here. It may start here if I'm pushing in, but before I attack, my thumb and my fingers are all going to be together. One way I like to set this up from here is to pop the head. And you're going to notice when I come in, this hand is very important, and it's crucial that I keep it up as high as possible when I start out. So first I'm going to head snap here. I pop down here. Typically at this point, my partner, my opponent, is going to have some resistance up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come into this position right here. Now, I want you to just notice one thing right here. I want to keep my hands as high as I can, and I want to keep my elbow down. Okay? And we're just going to kind of talk the main points through this now. It's crucial that my hand is up as high as possible from the get-go. When I come down, I want to be on both knees. I want to be perpendicular to Colby. Colby's facing that way. I'm facing this way. I want my head to be up. I don't want my head to be down. I want my body to be erect because I'm basically going to be the fulcrum that's going to support his weight. It's crucial that this arm is down. I want to trap his arm like this. I don't want this up like here. Okay, I can get defended against. I don't have the arm very tight this way. So I get the arm tight by corkscrewing it in here, but also blocking here. Also get it tighter by coming up with my head too, so I got a lot of friction here. I have a lot of friction between my arm and my head. Notice I'm upright. My fulcrum is a lot lower if I'm down on my heels here. My butt is down on my heels, the back of my haunches here. So I'm upright right from the get-go. The next thing, I'm going to control the leg. But the leg is not the most important thing. As a matter of fact, if I miss the leg here, I can throw this fine just where I'm at with my elbow here. Okay, or kind of push up here. If I grab the leg, most of this throw is going to be with this power and this power. In other words, it's almost like more of an arm throw than it is a leg type of a throwing situation. I'm not trying to pick this leg up and throw it over. This is just sort of hanging back here and helping guide the action. This is where the throw comes. The throw comes from being tight on the arm, tight on the shoulder with my head, and from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him in that direction. This comes down, this comes up, but again, I'm not emphasizing this nearly as much as this down, and that's a crucial point. So from here, I just come up this way. My head comes into Colby's chest. I keep this tight, so if he turns into me, I have something to block with. If he turns away, that's typically when I'm going to try to get a crossbody type situation on him. One other important point, I want you to notice when I come in here to this position, I want you to notice where the shoulder is. It's right high in his crotch here. I'm not out here. Notice where my shoulder is now. It's not way back here. It's right, it's going to be right in his crotch, right here in this position. And you'll notice I'm not so much trying to lift this up here. I typically just wrap around it here. And the throw is, it's more with my shoulders. Again, I'm not using like throwing him with my bicep. This is the mechanics here. And again, I'm not coming down. I'm coming this way. In other words, towards my side, from side to side, from this way. Okay, but my arm's going to be down here. like that. So I'm in this position, and my shoulder is in deep in his crotch. Notice all this contact and friction here. That's crucial. Notice too, I'm not way out here, but when I come in, I'm going to be in very close, such that he's pretty much over my center of gravity right now. My elbow is down, my head is up. I'm off my heels, I'm upright. Now, something that's really important when you're practicing this, and this is just going to take a while to get comfortable with it because you got to do a lot of things at once pretty much or close to simultaneously. This is crucial. When I attack this technique, I don't want my weight just to go down. I'm going to come down and then come up immediately. For example, I don't want to do this. I don't want to hit the snap here and come in low. Notice at this point, come upright, more upright. All of a sudden there's a lot of distance here. I don't have as much friction. There's a lot of space. Notice when I went in, I was low and I stayed low. It's crucial. When I come in immediately, I want to get Colby's weight off of his feet, at least to some degree. When I come in, I want Colby's weight not to be here where he can put his hips in and fight. I want to have his weight slightly off of his feet so that he can't do that very easy, so that he can't have that good defense there, pushing his hips in and trying to pull his arm out. So, this is the movement. Watch how he'll come up off of his feet slightly. I pop here, and I come in here. Immediately. See, it's already, once I've lifted his feet up, my momentum is going to continue. So it's not in steps per se. You may want to practice it that way initially, but it's crucial that you don't conceptualize the move as step one, coming in here, step two, securing the grip tighter, step three, throwing. By that time, your opportunity will have been lost. And what's most important is keeping tight on the arm. But you'll notice as I came in, notice how I kind of throw my hips in to get underneath him as far as I can. Watch what happens here. If I pop the head and I'm too far out here, it's very difficult here, sprawl out. It's very difficult here. Come back up. Conversely, if I pop here, by the way, I can do the fireman's from here. Most people kind of have a sense that something's coming up when I'm in this tight, but I can do a fireman's carry from this position here too. I usually like to be popping the head, come in here. Now, when I come in here, watch how I throw my hips in. From here, pop the head, from here. I come in, pop the head. Notice, I'm not coming here. What would happen if I came in on this knee and this leg was up? Well, if I'm trying to turn this way, I'm going against the post. There's a limit to how far I can go here, at least comfortably. Not to mention if he lands on my knee, he'll probably ruin my knee. Whereas if I'm here, I've got a lot more torque, a lot more movement. So I'm in a much better position mechanically to throw. So it's crucial that I go down on both knees. At the same time, I'm not low on both knees. I'm high on both knees. Notice how I throw my hips in. Once more, pop here, and it comes up in here. Notice now I'm loose here. I'm a lot looser than I should be. I want to be up as high as I can. Most throws that we go over, you always practice the technique as good as you can get it. Concentrate on a good, tight, high grip typically. Bottom line is, when you're doing it live, and in real competition, it's whoever gets the mostest firstest. And if you drilled it a lot of times successfully and you have good technique, if you're a little loose here, your hip doesn't get quite through, typically the rest of the technique will be proficient enough to save the day and to score for you, at least to get you in good position. So it's crucial that you practice the technique and try to get all the points down as good as possible, as well as possible, as proficiently as possible. But also be aware too, when you're actually throwing, as well as when you're doing your doubles, singles, etc., speed and power is crucial too. You can't be concentrating so much on step-by-step technique that your technique is so slow that the opportunity has passed you by, or you give yourself enough time for your opponent to defend against you easily. So, adding to it, you'll notice now when I come in, and keep this down, I'm going to throw right away. So from here, from this position, I might be popping here. He ties up with me. I pop here, and I come here. Head down, So if he turns into me, I block. If he turns away, that's typically the best opportunity for me to come around to the side. If, say I come in and I jam my fingers against his knee or his leg, I'm not going to waste my time trying to grab his leg. That's not necessary. The arm is what's important in this. So if I come here and I come here, and I hurt myself here, just throw it. This is what's important, the arm. In fact, I'd always try to grab the leg because that's a more efficient technique. But just so you can see, I can come up in here like this and just give a little shoulder shrug through. What's important is the arm. Securing the arm and the shoulder, keeping my head up, keeping my elbow down, keeping that so tight with lots of contact and lots of friction. It's really an arm throw. It's called the fireman's carry because we come through on the leg between the crotch. But the mechanics are really more of an arm throw from the perspective of I'm securing the arm, and that's where most of the technique is coming from. As you can imagine, if Colby is pushing into me, this makes this type of technique all the more effective because if I let go, he's already coming forward. So his momentum is going into me and in the direction I'm ultimately going to throw. So that's a very favorable situation. If, as we're moving around here, I feel a little pressure in, and I pop down, he's still coming in here, and I feel him come in, and that's an excellent opportunity for me to come through because his momentum is moving into me. I'm just sliding under. He's coming over, so it's almost like he's helping me with the throw. If he's neutral, in other words, not pushing in, not retreating, I tend to smack down on the head hard, and with his position of trying to get up slightly, that gives me the opportunity to come into that gap here. So if he's neutral, not pushing in or retreating, I might be working here, popping. So I pop hard here. Notice I pop and lower my level at the same time. He comes up, and I come in for the fireman's. What happens if he doesn't come up? If I pop here and he doesn't come up, we're going to go head and arm. Okay? So if you can't get underneath because the guys get really low or trying to retreat because he's frightened of your fireman's carry, naturally, if you cannot come underneath, cannot go low, you go high, you attack the head.